Watch Wars.
Welcome to this edition of Watch Wars. We, in traditional fashion, have got an awful lot on deck, on the docket today. We'll be warring two of my favorite divers, both in titanium. We also have some watch books, we've got some watch shirts, we've got some art, some watch related, some movie related. Actually, both are movie related, come to think of it. We've got EDC gear from our channel partner, countycom.com, 2 Vault, grappling hook, the Watchmaker's 3-in-1 tool collab, and of course an embassy pen in the beautiful honeycomb in the Hobby of Hours mug. And yes, I'm wearing special gloves today. These are the IST gloves recommended to me by my Navy SEAL buddy. These are the gloves he wore when he was in the team. So neoprene plus leather, good enough for him, good enough for me, and a watch review. I tend to more or less wing a lot of my videos, and particularly these, but I figured since I have such an emotional attachment to this titanium Seamaster, I better put some control measures in place for this watch war so that we can get a fair assessment of how these two watches shape up against one another. We have a possible score of 20 points across 20 items split up into 4 groups. The exterior of the watch, the interior, meaning more or less the dial, the movement, and the market. We are always going to have a market value to these reviews because I advocate for getting the best value for your dollar and saving money wherever you can. Why? So you can get more watches. Before we get into that, shirts are available. They are in stock, all sizes. We've got the Porsche design Top Gun 1 mile on there with a conspicuous name change right under the date, and the Hobby of Hours Cityscape, the Skyline, ready and available to ship anytime, day or night, at hobbyofhours.com. I ought to mention that I have modified my Tudor Pelagos to be a left-hand drive model. And if we zoom in there, we can see how I was able to perform the mod.
Because I was inverted.
You see the bracelet clasp goes that way, the crown's on the left, and the bezel is adjusted. And the reality is, since there's no date, it kind of works. And also, because I can't really see the intricacy of the dial without my glasses, 9 times out of 10, this is going to work. And stay tuned, because I am actually shipping this off to my watchmaker to see if he can indeed swap this dial around. The Pelagos watches, the larger ones, they make them in both left-hand drive and right-hand drive, which means the same movement can accommodate a 180-degree switcheroo of the dial, a rotation of the dial, particularly in the FXD line. They offer that to the French military, the Militaire Nationale, in left or right hand. In order to do that, they must have constructed the Kinesi movement to allow the easy swap. Now, underneath that dial are a pair of feet, and as long as those feet are positioned into the movement in a mirrored-like fashion, it's a simple rotation. Now, this movement is slightly different than the one in the larger Pelagos, but from what I've studied online, it's simply smaller. So hopefully they use the same design principles, and it'll be a super easy swap. If not, we'll at least have a bit of fun. But if I can transform this to a left-hand drive just by having my watchmaker swap the dial, and yes, I know I'm voiding my warranty, my watch, my fun, I think I will break the internet with such a change. And yes, it's partly due to me missing my full-size Pelagos left-hand drive. AG, I know you're enjoying it. I know it's on a good wrist and a good home. But there you have it. That is the plan for this watch. And in this corner, we've got my sentimental journey, my mama's watch. Not the watch that she wore, but it was the watch that was with me when we unfortunately lost her over several years ago, over a period of weeks. This is the watch that was with me during my darkest days. I just realized I got an awful lot of bric-a-brac on deck. Let's get rid of some of it so we can get to the meat and the potatoes. Before we do, real quick, we saw the coffee mug. We saw the shirt. We have the 1967 Better Off Dead Camaro K12 Saks package. Good bit of fun if you are a fan of the Better Off Dead movie. And of course, we have the Top Gun inspired Danger Zone Porsche design F14, and some random guy on a motorcycle who has the need to speed. Let's put some numbers up on the board, keep it fresh and handy in our coconut, what we're looking at here, because these are two similar but actually really rather different watches as well. This one's gotten on in age, this is relatively new, and size-wise they're not too far apart, this being 39, this one at 41. But we've got 20 criteria to go through, and then that's going to really separate one from the next. I can't wait to see who wins at the bottom. All right, the exterior. Looking at the bracelet first. The bracelet links are superior on this model. They are screws. These are old pin and pushers. No, not pushers, but pin and collars. Please, get away from that, Omega. The bracelet clasp, far better on this one. Although this is the tried and true double pusher. That overhang, or that clasp keeper thing with that little shield on it is just makes it a bit superior. So scoring that one to the Tudor. The bezel. The bezel on the Tudor is 60 clicks. This is 120 clicks. This is harder to move. This is far easier to move. So we have a draw. No points scored to either watch on that one. The insert, this one is loomed and it looks pretty amazing. Let's insert a loom shot. Yeah, pretty good. Crown guards. The crown guards of the Omega protect the crown just a little bit better, just a skosh better than the Tudor. So we're awarding the crown guard point to the Omega. Oh, sorry, I had the Tudor upside down. My bad. The diameter, I'm giving it to Tudor. 39 millimeters does wear better. These are both titanium, but even so, this wears pretty great on me. But just sheer dimensionality, the Tudor's getting the win on the diameter. They are the exact same thickness, therefore draw, no point awarded. Lug width, or I should say, UG width. The Tudor has an UG width of 21. Couldn't possibly win. 20 millimeters is the perfect lug width, and therefore the Omega is the winner. Speaking of Omega winner, water. Water resistance, 300 meters here, 200 here. Even though this is an older watch and could probably do with a pressure check, at any given moment, a modern watch could fail water resistance as well if something's happened to it. So it's always good to have your watch checked before you head down to Cabo or Jamaica, wherever you are going to go swimming. I don't even wear my time watches in the shower though. Weight. The Omega nearly, just barely, edges out the Tudor by a very modest amount. So the weight award is going to the Omega. Moving inward to the interior, to the dial. The Tudor dial is simply cleaner, less cluttered, partly due to the larger indices on the Omega dial, just encroaching a bit. And while the loom is better on the Tudor, they both have pretty good loom, but the Tudor is just better, and that is probably due to it being newer. Now, handset. Handset tends to be a very personal item for me. It's one of the things that attracts me most to a watch, or makes me not be attracted to a watch. Both of these handsets are great. Both of them are legacy. Therefore, we're giving that one a draw. As we move even more interiorly, inside, looking at the movement. The Omega movement is the 1120 based on the ETA 2892, tried and true, been around for decades. But this movement is newer. So you could make the argument that, hey, it's older, more reliable, or you can make the argument that the movement is newer and so forth. So we're awarding it to the Tudor, particularly when we come to the next one, power reserve. We're gonna have 70 hours of power reserve here, only 44 here. At least this is not the typical 38 hours, but that 70 hours is a clear winner here. Staying within the movement, this one has a date complication. There's nothing going on in here other than the 3 hands of time. Although I will say, I do appreciate this being no date because it was easier for me to mod it. And so there's the complications winner is Omega. Service cost. This one's still under warranty, but ultimately when they're both out of warranty, this one will be less expensive to be serviced. This one is going to have to go back to Tudor. They're not going to do a partial service for me. If I send this to my watchmaker, I'll get done just what needs getting done over here. And because it is based on that ETA, it's always going to have parts. I don't need to rely on anyone for parts for it. So the Omega is going to win this one. Moving on to market price. This watch was pretty much less than half of the Tudor. So out of the gate, far better price-wise. Admittedly, I bought this one new and I got this one used. We always advocate for going used. But ultimately, the price goes to Omega, as does value. You're getting more watch for your money with this piece relative to what you're getting over here. Now, they're both going to perform well in a diving situation. Obviously, 70 hours here, 44 hours power reserve there. But from a price to value perspective, this one is the winner. Resale. The Tudor is still hyped somewhat, so it will sell probably quickly. However, if you've bought this one new, then you're going to take a hit when you sell it. However, if you get this one out of the JDM, typically, which is where I get most of my watches these days, you can get it at a discount if you use that 10% or the 10 plus 10 coupon and you buy strategically. So from a resale value, the winner is the Omega. Ba-bam, on wrist. You can tell that the Tudor wears like a dream at 39, but this Omega, even being at 41, wears very well in my 6.5-inch wrist. So wrist presence looking great for either, and I really can't say that that 2 millimeters makes an awful lot of distance. Certainly not in this Schwarzkopf configuration. Someone give me a beat. And the winner is the Omega, narrowly edging out the Tudor at a score of 9-8, only by 1 point. Yes, there's only 17 points scored because we had 3 draws. I kind of like that scaling system. Let me know what you think of that scale down in the comments, and if you think it's needed or not needed. I really rather enjoyed it, and I felt I did keep the sentimental aspect of this watch out of the mix and stuck to just the facts and discerned a fair judgment in who would win this watch war. It is the Omega Seamaster Titanium, my mom's watch. Hope you enjoyed this one, and that wherever you are on this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours, that you are blessed. We will catch you in the next one. Peace. Pick up a book. 1001 Watch Designs, Volume 1. We've got line art, oil paintings, steampunk, and even super duper realistic ones. Ones that you could probably put on your wrist today. It's a good bit of fun and a great way to share your support. Thanks for coming along on the ride.